island trip. Only 2 on my climbers beach. Oh yeah, full of tender girls, yes. We love I love flying to Hawaii like it's close to me. Got 5 hours to the land with an ocean breeze. Scenic views, good food, and the woman tender. Bay Area. To the islands with a culture blender.
Tell me something about the water.
It is oh so tender.
Are there beaches everywhere?
Take a drive and end up on the side of the road. Stop it is a must. Take a list.
Hello. Welcome to the Mrs. Best Reviews channel. We are here this Saturday morning or afternoon if you're on the East Coast or somewhere else to go over Love After Lockup Season 5, Episode 7, titled Seeing Red. So we're going to get into it. If you like the intro song, I encourage you to look into Bay Area rapper, aka husband to Mrs. Best, also Best. That is his YouTube. You can find his music, information, socials, all of that there. Anywho, let's get into this recap because when I say these couples like equally stressed me out in some type of way this time, they equally stressed my black ass out. So Joinomi and Red, we're going to start with them today. And for those who don't know, we're going to go through each couple and what happened for them with the entirety of the episode. So Joinomi and Red, they've been together for 7 years. He's been in jail. She has never visited him, ever. I don't understand. Like, if your dude's in jail and you with somebody, like, visit them if you're able to. Especially if you're just spending all this money on cars and stuff for him. Then that means you could have visited him. Anyway, Red is finally getting out, and we've seen her in the last episode having serious issues with his family. She's disrespectful. She's a bitch when it comes to his family. They've been nice, they've been welcoming, but they ask questions. And the reason the family has a right to question Joinomi is because while her man was in jail, she did not visit him, but she visited other niggas and had a lot of one-night stands. To what we know, only 3 different men so far, but she had a baby. She has no clue who the daddy to her child is, but I feel like she knows and just doesn't want to get into that. Anywho, that's why her family, they're questioning her on that, as they should. So it's usually the inmate that people are like, I don't know about this. But in this case, Joy is a bigger red flag than Red. So he gets out and immediately I said, well, look at his long, pretty hair. He needs a retwist, though. That's all the boy needs. He needs a retwist. And we see in the confessionals that Red does get a retwist, and it helped. It helped a lot. Anywho, he gets out. The family, they're holding up signs. It was really cute. You could tell his family cares about him deeply. And, you know, he hugs his sister, hugs his mom, his cousins. I mean, they were tearfully happy to see him get free. And then he sees Joy, and it's like this nasty tongue kiss. Nasty. Now, I'm married, but ain't no way in hell I'm going to be tongue kissing Mr. Best down in front of my mama, his family. Like, your friends, that's a different thing. But like your family, like, relax, y'all, relax. Anywho, so the family looks uncomfortable. And I encourage anybody who has Facebook to go to the Love After Lockup Facebook group. That group is funny as hell. Shout out to everybody in the group for giving me several chuckles, dropping tea, all of that. But I encourage everybody to go look at it because somebody caught a still shot of the family's face when he was kissing Joy. And I said, yeah, that about describes it. Like, hot mess express. So they go to eat as a family at a place called the Catfish Kettle. And listen, I like to eat, y'all. I just had lumpia for breakfast at the farmer's market with Mr. Best, and I'm trying to tell you, they were at a place called Catfish Kettle for one. We don't have shit like that in California. Then she said, oh, we want the all-you-can-eat. They got all-you-can-eat crab, all-you-can-eat catfish that was fried, and they had something else that I can't remember, but they had hella food, and it actually looked good. I said, no, California, we don't have things like that. I like to eat, though. We need some things like that. That's why the whole family's a little bit bigger, wider loads, should we say. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I'm not the thinnest human either, but they eating good. Shit, ain't nothing wrong with it. Anyhow, while at dinner, the family speaks about Joy's pregnancy. And basically, we hear from Red finally, and he says that when she got pregnant on him, because they worked together, he said that was the hardest thing he ever went through in life. He said that was difficult for him, which I can understand. So then, he says they want to move forward and pass it and all this stuff. So then his mom brings up the fact that he's had her take money from other women to send to Joy. And basically his mom's like, does Joy know that was happening? He's like, no. And she's like, I see what his mom is doing. She's like, I'm going to be supportive. I'm going to be polite. I'm going to be nice, but I'm not about to play like y'all making a smart decision, like you know each other, because this is what's happening. And somebody should like do something about that. Anywho, she brings that up, and Joy's like, if he says that he hasn't cheated, then that's my man, that's my baby. I believe you because that's what I have to do. Girl, bye. You can't. I feel like Joy has to believe that Red is not cheating. She has to say she's going to take his word and believe it because she's the one who's cheated a million times. Because you would have to be a fool and certifiably special in some way for people to really think that she only cheated 3 times. No, 3 is the magic number. My husband just said this yesterday. Like people who cheat, serial cheaters, things like that. I think that rule where you multiply the number times another number and divide it, carry the 4, or however the fuck, do that. I guarantee from how her family described her, even her sisters was like, this girl has never had a relationship. I guarantee she'd been fucking niggas the whole time Red was locked up. And in her mind, she thinks it's okay because he's locked up. That doesn't make it okay. You cannot cheat on your man. I'm scared to cheat on my man. I feel like he would, I don't know what Mr. Best would do, but I feel he's crazy. He's a Sagittarius and I'm a Gemini. So I think it's just best that we both be loyal because we're both a little crazy. Anywho, basically Joy says the bullshit about she trusts him, and his response, like you could tell he lying. He was like, I don't talk to them like that. They just friends. I don't talk to them like that. But I call bullshit. I feel like he could say that because it's like he's in jail. So it's like all they can be is a friend. But no, I don't trust that. Anywho, his cousin comes out. He steps out. He's like, I need to get some air. I'm going to go to the bathroom or whatever. He goes outside and he's, doing a little independent interview for the camera. Then his cousin come out and he asked his cousin, hey, can I use your phone? And his cousin's, showing him how to use the phone because, phones have changed a lot in 7 years or whatever. And the first thing he do is call a chick and he remembered the phone number. So that to me, the fact that you remember the phone number to dial into this man's phone who doesn't know who you've been talking to, that to me tells me either your cousin know you with the shits or you remember this person's important enough that you could remember the phone number. Stop playing with me, Red. That's why you're dealing with a girl like Joy Nomi and not me or some other women. If y'all know, you know what I'm trying to allude to. Like, this is why, like, in the past, before I got married, I could never, like, be with men too long because once they start bullshitting me, I'm very analytical. I'm going to catch it and I'm going to call you out on it and I'm going to move the fuck on and you're just going to be heartbroken by this Gemini. That's how it goes. But Red is bullshitting. He calls another woman and, well, he tries to FaceTime her. Like, he wanted to see her face and she did not answer. But we find out because he tells the camera he got about 8 different bitches that's sending him money. I'm going to tell you this. Joy Nomi sounds stupid. And I know some of the people online, it's like, oh, well, because the money came to me. No. Name a time like a female is really sending a dude money that when she's got like multiple dudes or they're not that serious. If a female sending a nigga money, then that nigga means something to that female. I stand by that. So I don't think Joy Nomi and Red gonna work out. And honestly, if they don't, that's what she gets. Because women like her give good women like me a bad fucking name. How dare you go cheat on that man over and over and over? You search for him in the jail. And then you go and just betray his trust and all this stuff. So I'm not even mad at Red for what he's doing, honestly. I think they both some pieces of shit. That's just how I feel. So that's all that happened with that couple in the episode. I can't believe it took me 9 minutes and 16 seconds to discuss Joy Nomi and Red. That don't make no sense. Like, they aggravate me. They're almost like Monique and Derek, but not as toxic. It's Hot Mess Express. Moving on. The next couple we see is Andy and Brittany. If I look down, I'm not having a stroke or nothing. I do have my phone for notes. So, because I got to keep up with things. Anywho, we see Andy and Brittany. Andy, for those who don't know, is the guy who was a cop for about 13 years and his wife got on drugs. They divorced. Apparently he wasn't there for his kids or something strange like that. And Brittany's a drug addict who allowed drugs to get in the way of her and her children. So they have been having issues. She don't want to sleep with him. In my opinion, it looked like she's not attracted to him and she's trying to use him, but she's like extra manipulative or good at it. People online saying that girl want to leave him and go get high so bad. And I'm starting to think that that's the case. So Andy's still trying. He's trying to like save the relationship, make her comfortable, things of that nature. But Brittany is just not letting up. He says we could go fishing together because you real nature girl. You like to be outside. Andy, she's not a nature girl. Like, she's not a nature girl. I just don't buy that from her. So, she's like, well, why don't you want to go fishing? I thought you hated fishing. It's like, bitch, can you be happy that he's trying to do something for you? God, Brittany is insufferable. She's awful. So then he says he's going to make breakfast for her. He said maybe a full stomach is what she needs to feel better. So he pulls out his Jimmy Dean sausages and his great value pancake mix, and he gets to making breakfast like the rest of us normal people. I said, look at that. He starts making pancakes, sausages, a little meal or whatever. So the problem with this is Brittany is just, no matter what he does or how he tries, she accuses him of being basically disingenuous and then picks a fight. She's like, I thought you didn't like pancakes. So is that how it's going to be? If you have to be with me, you're just going to be doing things you don't want. You was just trying to break up with him in the last episode, time after time after time. So then she asked about the rest of the money. Mind you, she just tried to break up with this man. Now he's making her breakfast and try to take her fishing. She's still mad, even though he's only doing it for her. And she has the audacity to ask him for the rest of her money. I need the other $700. That $500 went to my kids. Why would you give your kids $500 that you like? I'm not saying you're not going to take care of your kids, but I'm just like, there's nothing in the world that could tell me that lady give that $500 to her kids. It's only been like 2 days. There's no way. They had a birthday party. They have other guardians. Like, there's no way. You just gave that money away. I call bullshit on Brittany. So I'm just like, girl, why you ask for money from someone you just tried to break up with? That doesn't make any sense. So then she asked him and they're talking and she's like, well, pull up your online bank account. And he has about $3,000 in the bank, about $2,700. Now, that's not a lot of money when you think of being rich. But if you're like middle class, like, that's about the average you probably have in your bank account that's available to spend. And you should have savings too. If you're middle class, they're lower middle class, hell, you could be paycheck to paycheck. The man has a house. He's got food, obviously, to cook in that house to make her hungry ass some breakfast, old ungrateful bitch. So he got $2,700. People talk about that's not a lot of money. Anybody saying that's not a lot of money better have more than $2,700 in their bank account all the time. It's not a lot of money, no, but it's a good amount to live on. And in Georgia, now if that's California, that $2,700 where I live in the Bay Area, that's the rent and PG&E bill and East Bay Mud bill. Okay, if you know, you know. But in states like Georgia, where it's much cheaper, especially when he's living in the middle of fuck nowhere, I'm sure that his rent is probably only $1,000 of that, maybe a little bit more, and then he has all this money left for bills, and he live alone. His son Barry's with us sometimes. So he had a good amount in his bank account and he had enough to give her the $700. But I don't think he wants to give the money to a bitch who was just trying to break up with him, won't sleep with him, and entirely changed up on her when she got out. And that's just what it is. So here's where Andy bullshits though. He says he can't give her the money due to online fraud. And he's like, these gambling charges. And she's like, I know that you gamble. You're lying. And we all could tell Andy's lying, but he don't want to admit that. There's nothing wrong with online gambling. My husband has a former coworker whose girl won like a good amount of money through online gambling. Like, people do it. It's legal. It's fine. It's how you handle the online gambling. Now, if you like doing it constantly, then you need to get to one of those like gambling anonymous meetings. But if you're, I don't see why he's flipping out over that. Plus, it's your fucking money. If you want to gamble instead of giving the bitch $700, then you got a right to. Especially if she ain't gave up no nookie, had you waiting outside a parking lot with no notice for hours while she went to a party, have you go through all these situations. Like, but at the same time, Andy want to tell these lies, talk about he can't pull the money out. Man up. This woman done been treating you like shit and still thinks that she can ask you for something. in females' terms, that means she view you like a simp, as the new generation says. Like, that's not respected. Like, that bitch is treating you like shit, Andy. And then she wants to ask you for money right after trying to break up with you. I would have said, no, I don't trust giving money to a person who doesn't want to be with me. I'm starting to feel like you're taking advantage of me. That's all he had to say. But instead, he want to tell lies, talking about, I do online gambling, but not on that website. Never on that site before. That's fraud. Andy, like she said, if there was fraud, why didn't you report the fraud? I just, anywho, he gets mad because she keeps calling him out on money, asking him if he's broke, all this stuff. Like, she's trying to get a rise out of him. He gets mad, takes off his mic, leaves. Peep game, when he left, the bitch was smirking and smiling. She's a sick individual. And I hope that Andy gets wise and leaves her. And I hope that in his next relationship, he learns to tell the truth. As for Brittany, I feel like she's going to end up either back on drugs or with like a shady guy or something. That's just what I think. Oh, coffee is necessary. Anywho, that's all that happened with that couple. This is a disaster. I really hope that they're not going to be on Life After Lockup. And random thing, somebody has said on Facebook, I don't want to say her Facebook name, but someone posted on the Love After Lockup Facebook group, like, are we really going to have to watch this show till December? Because they're advertising Life After Lockup this December, new season. I'm like, are we really going to be on TV with Love After Lockup till December? Because these couples are draining. And I feel like people like Renika and Asante, for the most part, they've come to their conclusion. Like, maybe they'll take a break and put something else on TV. At WeTV, where the hell is Marriage Boot Camp? Love to know. Anywho, let's move it along. To those watching, I appreciate you for being here. If you're not subscribed, welcome. I am Mrs. Best. This is my little channel. I just like to talk a little shit about my reality shows. That's all we do here. We also do song reviews. If you like what you see or have any feedback, feel free to leave it in the comments. And I encourage you to like the video if you like it. You don't have to like it, though, if you don't like it. Anywho, next couple that we have is Louis and Melissa. This will be fast. Not a lot has happened with them. They remind me of like teenagers high on Adderall doing everything they can to be together, but act like adults when they're just not. I can't take Louis and Melissa seriously. So last week she's mad because a dancer, they went to a dance date, like one of those ballroom dancing dates or whatever. And the instructor was correcting Melissa because Melissa can't dance, you know, but the instructor did start to get a little flirty with Louis, start touching, complimenting his shirt. You know, it upset Melissa. And even though Louis did nothing wrong, she gets mad at him. So he goes to his friend, who I think is good for his sobriety, who works at the pizza shop. And his friend's like, you could have a job and all this stuff. Good for Louis. But while he's there, we see Louis' skinny ass throwing pizza dough in the air. And he is quite literally making a pizza in the shape of a heart, like the Valentine's special at Papa Murphy's or John's, whichever one. There's a Papa everything in pizza. Anywho, he makes her a pizza with some toppings that didn't look the best, but, you know, that's their choice of food. And he says, I'm going to get in the Uber because the boss calls him an Uber, and he's going to go find Melissa. He can't find her, and they waste our time on the TV watching this man walk throughout what looked to be a very nice Best Western or Comfort Inn, you know, one of those little chain hotels. Anywho, he finds Melissa in the gym working out, and they talk. Basically, she's crazy, problematic. I see why she's single, and I think that she's going to run this relationship to the ground. They talk, but while she's talking, Louis just like looking at her body, like not really paying attention to her. So then, and basically she says she's going to try and trust him, and they go upstairs, they do. So the next day we see them go to get his teeth fixed. He goes to see a dentist, and Melissa says that she wants to pay for this. Why you would pay for a man to get his teeth fixed who can already pull a woman with 5 teeth to get his teeth fixed, I don't know. But this is what Melissa wants to do. So basically the rest of the episode is him determining whether he could get dentures or implants. He doesn't qualify to have implants because something with his gun, they have to move his gums. They have to move his sinuses up in order to put the implants in. So that would make it extremely expensive. Without that surgery, implants are like $35K. Like, no, just no. I had a choice to have a tooth pulled or have an implant put in. One implant was going to cost me like $7,000. I said, and I had really good insurance. I said, oh no, you can pull that bitch. It's in the back. Nobody will know. And look, nobody knows. Anywho, dentists are hell of expensive. It's highway robbery. Damn. Dentists are expensive because even for just the dentures, Louis is going to have to pay. Let me see. Let me look at my notes. $4,800. Why don't they just wait and get Louis some insurance and then max it out? But I mean, he's only got 5 teeth in the front and like 2 on the bottom, and I didn't even realize it. So maybe he can't eat. Like, how can they go on a date to have like steak, shrimp, you know, a little surf and turf date? He can't eat. He can't chew. How do you chew shrimp without teeth? How do you eat steak without teeth? That's stressful. So she's willing to pay for it, but she's making all these comments about the dentures. I don't want to look and see like grandpa teeth. Like, that's not going to work for me. That's a turn off. I mean, I'll do with you what makes you happy, but that's a turn off. Like, Melissa, I don't want to be mean, y'all, because listen, I know I'm no spring chicken or Beyonce either. To some people, I could be the ugliest thing on the planet, but Melissa, come on now, girl. You got some nerve talking to him about grandpa. That's all I'm going to say. That's all we see with Louis and Melissa. They didn't give us much. Honestly, they're kind of boring without crazy Donna. Where's Donna, her bathrobe, and her wooden spoon? I want to see Donna. Because now y'all just going about your life like Donna's just cool with it. And I know that Donna's not cool with that. So we gonna see. They crack me up though. And it's crazy. Like, dentists or government, whoever I need to address, dental insurance should be like health insurance where I got a $20 copay and they cover the rest. I hate the dentist. Every time I go, I feel like I never spend less than $100. I hate it. And it's like, you have to go to the dentist. You do. That's why I have my teeth. I go to the dentist. Anywho, moving it along, you guys. We're going to talk about Sheree and Anthony. Every time I think of Sheree and Anthony, I think of a friend of mine, a childhood friend. Shout out to Leona. I crack up because her middle name is Sheree. Now everybody knows her government middle. She'll get over it, though. She'll forgive me. I've known her 17 years. She'll forgive me. If not, I'll take the beating, but she'll forgive me. Anyhow, but I'd be calling her Leona Sheree. Sheree, what's going on? Homegirl, we got somebody on Love After Lockup Day, Sheree. I said, Lord, now I think of my friend, even though my friend is not like this lady. So Sheree and Anthony have been together a long time. They knew each other in high school, didn't deal with each other. He went to prison, and somehow while he was in jail, they got back in contact. I don't get it. It's weird. Anywho, they're together, and in the last episode, I said he seems very annoyed, like, with her, just how she does stuff, if that makes sense. She's really excited about having this coming home party, a welcome home party for Anthony. But then she's saying in confessionals and stuff that the only reason she's having a welcome home party is to piss off and prove a point to her baby daddy. And I'm like, why do you need to prove a point to a man that you're not with no more about the man that you're with now? And then the man that you're with now don't even want the party. Do you even care about that? She's been like a CO in the prison for him more than a girlfriend, in my opinion. So the last we see, he was talking to his mom about boundaries and all of that. We hope it got through, but his mom just seems problematic. I couldn't have a mother-in-law like her. She seemed problematic. Like, you too old to be talking and acting like that, lady. You just got to stop. So he gets approved. His PO calls him back. He has to keep his ankle monitor, but he does get approved to go to the welcome home party. His PO sound cool because he was like, yeah, just be home by 1:30 in the morning. 1:30 in the morning? That's late. That's it. That's good. They could be partying. They could start the party at 7 a.m. and be lit until 1 a.m. Like, that sounds like an Oakland party. Shout out to the town. Anyway, we see him get approved for the party. He doesn't even care. It was Sheree that was happy. We know this party is not for Anthony. We know this party is basically for Sheree. And mind you, you guys, this is the lady from Love During Lockup who had or not Love During Lockup, but this is the lady who had the fake birth certificate, or not birth certificate, the fake marriage certificate, She went on a website, showed us her pulling up the fake marriage certificate because she wants people to believe they were married because they tried to get married and couldn't because he was still legally married to somebody else. So we're going to see that come up again with these guys. So we find out that Sheree is a twin and she has a twin brother, and he comes in. No shade. Her twin brother took all the beauty. No shade. But her twin brother comes in and he's very protective, comes in with her son and all of this. And, you know, he talks to Anthony a little bit. And it was like, while they were somewhat respectful, the conversation just, you could feel the tenseness because don't nobody like to be questioned. But at the same time, Anthony, you just got out of jail and you've been there for a minute. So it's like, you got to expect to be questioned. If you're getting mad about that, I'm looking at you side eye. Just saying. So later we see Sheree go to her brother's home and talk with his wife. And, you know, her brother expresses that he didn't like his conversation that he had with Anthony and he don't trust the dude. And I can't really trust Anthony fully either. I know that he's happy to be out and is adjusting, but he just seems emotionally cut off from everybody. And what I'll say, like a good example, my husband is kind of an asshole, closed off. People say he looks mean, but when it comes to me, he's like an entirely different person. So it's like, I feel like if you're with somebody that you're comfortable with, you will be, you know what I'm saying, like emotionally on. What's up, Raymond? He says, hey, what's going on? He does music. I encourage everybody to check out his YouTube page. I am doing a TV recap, no song review today. We're discussing Love After Lockup. I appreciate you for being here. I appreciate you for being here. So basically, we find out also when Sheree's talking to her sister-in-law and stuff, I guess her family has a history of being hard on spouses because her brother's wife was like, y'all was awful to me and he not getting that same energy. So he just got to deal with it. And I'm like, you know what? I feel it. Raymond says his auntie loves this show. Shout out to your auntie. I love Love After Lockup. It's a guilty pleasure because I'm like, people really go on like, first of all, there's prison pen pal sites. What the fuck? And then people choose to go look for love in the penitentiary, even though some of the smartest and finest men are locked up. But it's like, they locked up. Anywho, but this show is hella great. I like this show a lot. That's why I'm here. Anywho, the family's hard on. Thank you. Thank you. I did graduate college. Look at that. I love it. The participation. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I did graduate college, you guys, in psychology. I'll be looking at this like, I'm not supposed to analyze this. She's narcissistic. He's got symptoms of DID. I'll be looking at these people like they're all crazy. That's why they're on the show. Not much happened with Sheree and Anthony. We do see that he goes to buy a ring for Sheree, and nobody knows they're not married. So he's buying a fake wedding ring. Well, it's a real ring. It was a beautiful ring too. But it's like, y'all not married. And then he didn't buy the band set. Like, if you look, I have a wedding band on, and then I have my big gem that goes on it. The engagement. It's a set when you get married. So he just bought her the engagement band. So I'm like, I guess they're going to get engaged. I don't know why you would have your mom there to shop with rings for you if you know she doesn't know that you're already married. But the mom, I was with it because that's my mother-in-law. She going to be there for her daughter-in-law. Because I'm going to tell you this, shout out to Kathy. We just love you. That's my husband's mom. If Josiah was to go to his mom and be like, Mama, I want to get Amina a ring, I'll tell you this right here. Kathy going to look out for me the way that Anthony's mom looked out for Sheree. She said, oh, what about the bigger one? She likes square. His mom walked him through it. And I was like, his mom may be a lot, but at least she got to know someone who's important to her son. And that's all people be wanting. Parents don't have to do the most. So all I can say is there's something shady about Anthony. And I think we're going to find out as we continue on. Next couple, Renika and Asante. I'm trying to be a good Christian, be a better human, and, be better. I'm trying not to be me. Raven says, shout out to Miss Kathy. Yes, yes, yes. We love Kathy. My husband's mom is awesome. I really do enjoy her a lot. She's good people. But Renika and Asante, I hate to disappoint everybody. We got to talk about this wig. Now, Listen, I know I'm not in a weaver wig. I prefer to have braids. I don't want to comb anything. That's just the way that I am. But she's still wearing this wig. And it hurts my heart because I'm like, girl, you cannot be. She's in oversized clothes, looking like she's wearing, like she's in a Puffy video from back in 2002. And I don't understand, just because you thin, still wear a bra, something. Her shirt's coming all the way up because she doesn't have a chest to fill out shirts. Listen, I didn't have titties at one time, and it's okay. You just don't buy shirts that Renika stresses me out. Renika stresses me the hell out. Also, Beth says, shout out to his mama, indeed. Oh, he misses his mommy. She's all the way in Illinois. She's far away. We do miss her. But Renika and Asante, she hired a private investigator. Her friend did, because so Asante came home from the jail. We find out that he had a girlfriend because that was the auntie that sent Renika the money to bail him out because she didn't have the money to bail him out. And then she said she's not going to let auntie ruin her time with him, which was stupid. You should have talked to your man. He hit it, and now we know that he hit it raw. He hit it and left. He literally snuck out in the middle of the night. And talk about the faith he has in his man part. He said, I'm going to put her to sleep. They were having a team like me. We're going to knock this bitch out. We're going to dick her down. We're going to put her to sleep. And then we're going to sneak out into the night to the other one's house. And that's exactly what Asante did. And he never came back to Renika. He hit it and quite literally quit it. And she said, you know what? I'm going to hire a private investigator. And she did. So she goes to a hotel. It looks like they're staying at a Best Western. I like Best Western, y'all. When you're like on a road trip, they're always clean. So I trust them. But she finds and catches him in the hotel room. The chick's not there. She basically tells him how she feels. She's like, you cheated on me. I was there for you, Asante. I moved all the way from Kentucky to be with you. And da-da-da-da, all this shit that she was stupid for doing. And he looking at her, he was like, I never told you to do all that. You knew what it was. You know what's good. Like, listen, Renika is sad, but Asante did do her dirty. And we know that Asante is passed on. So condolences again to his loved ones. I think he passed away in a high-speed chase or something. But he's passed on and he had a lady pregnant. So that's sad that a child won't get to know their dad. That's sad. But he was a dog. Well, with Renika, he had women. And when she seen him in the hotel room, I peeped game. I said, you know what? His beard is together. When he was with Renika, you let him hit it raw straight out of jail. Didn't even give him time to wash his balls. Like, and now just look at it. Look at you. He disappeared. Now his beard's cleaned up. The new woman that got him a haircut, got his beard cleaned up. He has some cleaner clothes. He chose the woman who was paying him for something. And I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. But Asante, like, you could have told her. You could have told her. And I did, for the first time, kind of feel bad for Renika. But I'm like, how are you dating? Because the way y'all talked on the phone, I could have figured out that he wasn't serious. Like, women, y'all need to go find a Gemini, Scorpio, or Sagittarius woman. Because I'm going to tell you this, or Capricorn. We know how to break hearts. Like, listen, every boy that ever thought he did me dirty got done right the fuck back dirty. That's all I'm going to say. I don't play them type of games. Renika, you better woman up. Hurt his feelings. Lord. So basically, he says to the camera that he admits to having two different girlfriends. And he says that there's a lot of temptation in the world. And that his daddy was basically somebody who had a lot of women. And he said that he can't help it. He got it from his daddy, basically. I was looking at him like, boy, whatever. So basically, she goes off as Renika always does, and I'm like, bitch. She cackled as hens do, and I'm sorry. Like I don't feel bad for Renika because she said fuck her family, fuck her kids, fuck the well-being of anybody that matters to her to move across the country to be with a guy who was talking to her on a contraband cell phone that he had ended up in jail. She was just calling him on the iPhone. He was the example of everything wrong. So I don't feel bad for Renika. I also feel like nothing's wrong with wearing a wig, but this wig that she has on, this green wig, it's atrocious. People are comparing it to the green onion, and I like the vegetable, and I just can't. I cannot with her wig. I can't. I'm like a bohemian natural braids type of chick. So there's that. I'm a little bit of a hippie, but like that wig stressed me out. And you can't talk to men that way, the same way us as women be like, you cannot talk to me like that. Like, you can't talk to men like that. You can't be calling your man bruh, calling him bitch when you get mad. Like, when I get mad at Mr. Best, trust me, I go the fuck off, but I'm not calling him all types of bitches and hoes and, you know, stuff like that. Like, that's not cool. And you also have to remember that you find out who people really are when they're upset. You're breaking up, divorces, things like that. So you too, I hope you have a good day. Go enjoy your Saturday. We are almost done here. Thank you for stopping by. I am responding to comments for those wondering. I am not just talking to myself. Well, I am kind of talking to myself, but I'm not talking to myself, if you know what I mean. But yeah, Renika I don't think she's ready for a relationship at all. And I hope that she learned from this and does better. And I hope that WeTV never brings her back on TV unless it's a Where Are They Now? I don't care. I could give a flying fuck. She stressed me out since last season. It's really kind of embarrassing for women. Men can give you signs that they're not that serious and she still take it there. Of course, he gonna let you move. But when you have your entire family and everybody warning you about something, you listen. So that's just where I stand. Hopefully this 37-year-old woman grows the fuck up. Moving on to our last couple of this live, we are going to get into Chelsea and Michael, aka Mikey. So he ain't got no sex. Chelsea she doesn't communicate well, which we'll see when I'm done discussing this couple. She has not told Mikey that she doesn't want to have sex with him until they've been together for like a couple months to a year. So he's expected to have sex because they're having all these dirty conversations on the phone while he's in jail and stuff. And she's letting it go on. She's a big tease. That's not okay. So he's finally frustrated. He's not getting no sex. He's overwhelmed being out. And then Chelsea, while in the hotel room struggling to get up, she gets a phone call from her school Gio, who's from middle school. And he is watching her children while she is taking care of Mikey. Gio tells her that he got mail for her. And the mail comes from the Social Security office. He also tells her that her kids have been sick and he gave them medicine so they're sleeping and stuff, but they've been really sick. So she's stressed out about that because she's 5 hours away. And she says, show me the letter. He shows her the letter. It's from Social Security Administration. It says her benefits have been cut off. She cannot get food stamps. She cannot get her Social Security check. She can't get any of that. And she says she can't pay her bills without that. Now, I know that when you have Social Security, because I used to work in finance and credit consulting, so I worked with a lot of people who had Social Security. I used to help them with their applications, advocate for them, things like that. When you have Social Security, you either have, there's SSA, there's SSI, all those different things, right? Or SSI and SSDI. So if you have SSDI, that's usually the people who are deaf, hard of hearing, have a lifetime disability that will not resolve. And they usually have a payee. Now, she said that her dad, she was getting all of this through her dad's workers' comp. I know that she's not speaking to her father, but if something happens with your payee, then your benefits get cut off as well. So it sounds like that is what has happened to Chelsea, and she's stressed out, as most people who receive government assistance. It sounds like she's living paycheck to paycheck, and she has multiple children. And she's spending all this money out with Mikey and all of these things. So I'm like, I totally understand the stress. So basically, she flips out. She doesn't know how to communicate her stresses. It seems like she compartmentalizes and then lets herself like just fester. And that's never good. So she takes it out on Mikey, which I didn't think was okay. And when he goes to meet with his lawyer, because he had a stroke in prison and they took over 7 hours to get him to a hospital, nobody helped him. Nurses in the jail tried to call the ambulance. They canceled it, all these things. So he finds out that he definitely has a case, but he won't get a settlement for a year. And he's like, I could get a job until then. I've always been a go-getter with money. And I'm like, you have a man. He wants to help. Unlike some of these inmates, he's willing to get a job and then he's going to have a settlement and you'll be all good. She's still stressing out. he says he needs to get out the car and take a breath, which I thought was the responsible thing to do, especially if you're frustrated. And then she just leaves him, drives off. I'm like, so now I don't like Chelsea. She doesn't know how to communicate, goes off on him, takes out her stresses on him. And I think that that's so fudged up. I just do. So she left him, and he said if she don't come back for him, he's done. Do you, brother man? I don't blame you. It's too much. It's too much. And I can imagine how frustrated that is to have to sign language when you're mad versus. So I feel like they're both, it's just heightened frustration. But that was my recap of Love After Lockup. Thank you to the people who were here, to the people who participated. Raymond, also best. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Both Raymond and also best. He said he hopes we have a blessed day. There is his name. He is an artist that participates in our song reviews that I do for free. If you know anybody in your life who does music, send them my way. I don't charge. We do song reviews. This is the way to share artist music. If you do want individualized promo, I do offer reaction videos that are $5, $10, or $15, but why pay when you can do it for free, right? Anyhow, shout out to Also Best as well. Thank you for supporting and tuning in to thy live. Anywho, you guys, with that being said, we're going to get to the end of this live. We have a couple of lives that are going to be happening this week. One of the next live that I'm going to have is going to be on Tuesday. It will be recaps for Basketball Wives LA, as well as Basketball Wives Orlando. I'll also be on the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel going over House of Villains, which is on E! Network, as well as Bravo TV. In addition to that, on Tuesday, we have our Halloween song review. So happy Halloween to everybody. If I don't see or speak to you, or you don't catch a live before then, we'll have a song review for Halloween, as we do, because it falls on a Tuesday. But anybody who has a Halloween themed song can skip the line, and you can get as many Halloween themed songs that you want played. So with that ado, we are going to end this live, and I appreciate everybody for tuning in. We are going to end this live listening to Oso Best. So let's give Oso a stream. We'll listen to his song, Keep It Lit, featuring Be Money, Be Manifested.
IGK, this crazy.
Look, I keep it lit. You ain't speaking powerful and I'm different. Yeah, I'm inside move what you sniff. That's what the lines got your dumb ass trip. Nigga, you trippin'. Look, I keep it lit. You ain't speaking powerful and I'm different. Being punk inside move what you sniff. That's what the lines got your dumb ass trip. Tell me twisted shit. I keep it lit. Knock out if you ain't getting to that chick. Be money in that best way, main business. She's smoking gas, I'm Hennessy. I'm gonna hit my chime, I give a lick. Everything they say is fictitious. You washed up my nigga like some dishes. I wanna know contactless the bitch. But your girls are piles on my wish. Look, being broke ain't that trend, why you doing? The type to pass it to the kids who gon' roll shit. Whether I have them or not. There's moolah on that front, what you want? I keep it lit. You ain't speaking pound moolah that I'm dipping. Being broke ain't that move what you sniff. That's what lines got your dumb ass tripping. Nigga, you tripping. Look, I keep it lit. You ain't speaking pound moolah that I'm dipping. Being broke ain't that move what you sniff. That's what lines got your dumb ass tripping. Tell me twisted shit, I keep it lit.
I got fire in my heart, I'm money litty. Don't ask about some blue, I'll be frank, I'm hundred. Never need a clip, I'm too slick, I'm too slippery. Don't ask about the trip, I won't flip. Can't tell me, never tell the haters I want my life back. Bill Bells me. When it come down to the bread, it ain't no shelf for me. Why they acting like I'm plankton? Ain't no kelp for me. Every night I praise the Lord hard, thanks for helping me. And then I get up in the lab trying to sell a key. I mean, I'm really from the bay, I'm trying to sell the beat. Wake up in the morning, gotta get it, ain't no stale with me. Never when it come down to my faith, it don't be failing me. Even though I came up with these bars, ain't no dealing me. Even though my life a beach, I still be tailing me. Lately, been chilling with a sack, Kirk whaling. Lately, I've been good with the greens and my aliens.
You ain't speaking pound buller that I'm dipping. Being propane, I move what you sniff. Mess with lines, got your dumb ass tripping. Nigga, you tripping. I keep it lit. You ain't speaking pound buller that I'm dipping. Being propane, I move what you sniff. Mess with lines, got your dumb ass tripping. Got me twisted shit, I keep it lit.